What if you could start to notice how you already belong, just as you are, with no need to impress anyone, because your existence is already more than enough. You can begin to recognize that, even without any effort, just being yourself is a powerful gift. When you focus on that, you might notice the need to impress others starts to fade, as you realize you don't need to prove anything to anyone, because, after all, what if you were simply enough exactly as you are, without needing to justify or impress? You might begin to sense, just in the way the air changes when you shift your awareness, how easy it could be to feel comfortable without the weight of the need to prove anything. Can you imagine just for a moment how it might feel to let go of that burden, that deep belief, and to recognize that you've been worthy all along? Every part of you right now, as you are, is already full of value, even without trying to gain anyone's approval. What if this feeling of self-assurance could grow naturally, in ways you didn't even have to force? Just notice how your body feels when you think of yourself as worthy, not because of what you've done, but simply because of who you are. What if right now you could accept the need to impress anyone else isn't even necessary to feel good about yourself? Can you sense how light that feels, as if the weight has been lifted? What if you could instantly tap into that feeling whenever you needed it, just by reminding yourself that you don't need anyone else's approval to be whole? Notice how, as you think about this, you might feel a little more relaxed, a little more at ease. And what if, just by noticing how natural it is to be yourself, that nagging feeling of needing to impress starts to fade away? As easily as water flowing down a stream, gently washing away the stones and the pebbles of unnecessary stress and doubt. It's almost like you don't even have to try to let go. It just happens naturally, doesn't it? And think about this for a moment. Have you ever seen a flower bloom? It doesn't try to impress anyone. It simply exists, beautifully, just as it is. What if you could be like that flower, effortlessly shining, simply by being you? Doesn't that sound like a powerful, freeing way to live? In fact, how often do you notice the more you focus on your own growth, your own truth, the more you become magnetic to the things that really matter in your life? Just like a tree grows tall, it doesn't compare itself to other trees, it simply grows, naturally in its own unique way. What if you could take a moment right now to think of yourself as that tree, standing tall and proud in your own space, knowing the very fact of your existence is enough? Every time you notice this idea, this truth, you can feel yourself growing even more deeply into it. You can feel that ease in your body, in your mind, as you breathe in the air around you, knowing that you don't have to impress anyone to feel comfortable. It's almost as if, with each breath you take, you're becoming more and more aware of your own worth, your own purpose, your own incredible uniqueness, just as you are. Because if you allow yourself, you might just realize you've always been enough. That deep belief, the one that says, I have to impress others to prove my worth, it begins to lose its power, little by little, day by day, until it's almost as if you don't even remember where it started in the first place. What if you could, right now, accept that everything you've done so far has only added to your value, and it was never about impressing anyone? Notice that. Take a moment, if you will, to think about one of your favourite accomplishments, and notice how that moment felt. What if in that moment you were already enough, with nothing else required, and that moment now can remind you of how much you truly have within you? No external validation needed. You might find that in every situation, you now have the power to choose whether or not you need to impress others, Because you already know the truth. You are enough, just as you are. And the more you practice this, the easier it becomes to stay in this place of power, peace, and authentic self-worth. And so I wonder, how could you start to notice those subtle, powerful shifts in your everyday life? Maybe, just maybe, you begin to realise how often you've been carrying that need to impress. And now, with ease, you can decide to put it down. The choice is yours. And you might discover, before you even know it, it feels just right to be exactly who you are, without needing to impress anyone. Isn't that interesting?